Okay, I had a second friend come down with rosacea a week or so ago, and I was wondering if you had any words about what causes it and if there's something to be done about it.
Yeah, rosacea, it's a simple vitamin B like baby deficiency, specifically vitamin B12. Although, you know, the B vitamins are like wolves. They all run in packs, and if there's not enough of one B vitamin to cause an active symptom, then guaranteed there aren't enough of the others. And also, lacking vitamins, the body can make use of minerals, but lacking minerals, vitamins are useless. So whenever we are attempting to give the body extra vitamins, like, you know, if someone had scurvy and we wanted to give them vitamin C, because that's, you know, what would be mandatory here. When we're giving vitamins, we need to just make sure that the minerals are there also, because if the body doesn't have any minerals, it doesn't matter how many vitamins you give them, because the vitamins ain't going to work.
That I got already.
Yeah, okay. So the secret sauce here, in addition to the Healthy Start Pack, would be the de-stress or the Ultimate Daily. De-stress are easier to swallow, so I would get the de-stress to 1 bottle a month, and that should cut it in about 14 days. There should be a noticeable positive change. But let's not overlook the obvious, right? Whenever we see a skin condition, and I don't care what it is, whether it's rosacea or eczema or psoriasis or whatever, then there's always a component of an inappropriate food going into the body, always. So,
knowing these guys, that's for sure.
Yeah, so they need to be gluten-free, and I don't know how easy a sell that's going to be. But even if they don't want to go gluten-free, just to kind of get your foot in the door, if you gave them 1 bottle of the plant minerals and 1 bottle of the de-stress, they'd see a remarkable change. And then when they see a remarkable change, you might then be able to have a little bit more leverage in their lives, you know, by telling them, look, if you think this stuff made you feel this much better, you have no idea what you're missing. And so we'd like to hook you up with the rest of it. That might be a strategy that you could use.
Well, I've known the one guy since the 60s, so I'm pretty sure that he's got rocks between the ears, but I'll try. And,
isn't it funny?
I'm the Howard from the Get 90 team in Arizona.
Oh, Howard, it's a pleasure to meet you, at least auditorily here. Appreciate everything that you guys are doing down there. What's your experience been like, Howard, in trying to, you know, in sharing this message with people? How many people do you have to talk it up to in order to get one person to listen?
You know, I don't think I actually counted. I've only been doing this for, well, less than a year, and we've got 70 people.
Yep.
Biggest disappointment is not being able to help my sister because she thinks MDs are God.
Yeah, well, there you go.
She has Crohn's disease, and he didn't talk to her about gluten intolerance. Doesn't think she has to get off gluten. I gave up talking to her.
Well, see, the thing about this is, number one, I don't know if this is going to be of any solace to you, but you know, very few people in my family listen to me. So people that are your relatives are the hardest people to convince here. So I wouldn't feel too bad about that. Although, you know,
listen, I just figured I'll go find somebody who wants help.
Well, it's hard to watch people suffer needlessly, right? But so this is the deal. So and again, the secret here to the health enrollment, and the health enrollment is different, of course, than the business enrollment. But the secret to the health enrollment is bringing people to the expert, right? So the enrollment that seems to be working best for people in longevity, the health enrollment, is like this. Listen, I know a doctor that says you don't have to suffer with that. If I invite you to this webinar, will you watch it? If I send you a link to this video, will you watch it? If I lend you this CD, will you listen to it? Whatever. So instead of trying to tell people what they need to do, and honestly, the more the time that you spend with longevity, the more frustrating that this becomes, because you actually know what they should do, but if you tell them what to do, they're not going to listen to you. It's very frustrating.
I don't try to tell them, but I mean, if something the conversation, I do try to get them to listen to either you and Healing is Easy, or Wallach and Dead Doctors Don't Lie is a place to start. My own story is that I've gotten rid of arthritis, diabetes, and high blood pressure doing what you guys tell me.
How long were you arthritic?
Oh, geez, I don't know, 30, 40 years.
Yeah, and what part of your body was it in?
First place was in my hands when I was probably 30.
Wow.
Both my parents had it, although I know that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I bought a bowling ball now. I go bowling with my granddaughter. I gave bowling up 20 years ago because it hurt my hands too much.
Son of a gun. Don't you just love it? I mean, isn't it awesome?
Yeah, I mean, this is my hobby now. I retired at the end of 2011, wanted to do something to help people, to kind of give back, and this is what I do now. And when I got the first check, I didn't even know it was coming. It just surprised me. And now I got stock options, which I didn't know were coming either. And
I know.
I guess the next level gets me a car bonus.
Yeah, and that beats a poke in the eye with a sharp stick, right? I mean, this is, and you're kind of just doing it by hook or by crook, and you're part-time, and you've already got 70 people in your organization.
Yeah, the biggest accomplishment has been a gentleman that I got introduced to his sister that we had in the Mesa event when we had one, and he was on the verge of major surgery that might have ended up with a colonoscopy bag. And so he stalled off his gastroenterologist for a couple of weeks while he started heavily on the products. He went back for a checkup, and the doctor was flabbergasted that he could see that the guy's colon was healing.
Unbelievable. Now, did the doctor ask him what he did?
Of course not.
Yeah, doesn't that just burn you?
That won't stop it, see, because Alan, even though he was going there to get probed, took a Wallach Dead Doctor's CD with him, and the doctor said, okay, he'd listen to it. Now, I wouldn't bet on it, because when my doctor approved me getting off all my meds about 8 weeks ago now, he'd had a CD for a while and hadn't listened to it. So
it's amazing to me that even when these people have direct evidence right in front of them, I mean, living, breathing testament to the effectiveness of science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition, and this isn't like, you know, some crackpot on the internet telling you what to do. This is Dr. Wallach, arguably the most researched. I mean, there's no MD in the entire state of Arizona that even comes close to Dr. Wallach's academic resume. You know, let alone his clinical experience. And they're not going to listen to him. They're not even going to want to know. I mean, this underlines the pig-headedness of the profession, which is exactly why, Howard, I've chosen to name this radio show Fire Your MD Now for this very reason. Because
I fully understand. I was lucky enough on one of Dr. Wallach's trips here to get him one-on-one for breakfast. And all told, I guess we spent about 3 hours. The man is clearly a genius, and he's also humble.
Yeah.
I'll
tell you a story about
his message, and the stupid people don't listen.
Well, you know, it's like Noah's Ark, right? I mean, it's like Noah's Ark, right? Who listened to Noah? Nobody, and they all drowned. So it's the same thing here. Let me tell you a story about how humble Dr. Wallach is. This was about 5 years ago, I think, maybe 6, at the annual Longevity Convention, right? And back in the day, before FDI hooked up with Longevity, the Longevity Conventions, there were maybe 60, 70, maybe 100 people there, right? And I think this was in Las Vegas. And it was the last day of the convention, and you know, there were all of these speakers that were lined up, and everybody was you know, sitting in the audience waiting for the next speaker, and a very well dressed African American guy showed up, and he spoke to Vanessa Hunter, who was the organizer of the event at the time. He says, Miss Hunter, I'm wondering if I can have a few minutes to talk about what Dr. Wallach has done for my mother up on the stage. And Vanessa Hunter didn't know who he was. And she said, well, geez, if we let everybody, she thought this guy was just a member of Longevity who wanted to give a testimony, right? And she said, well, look, if we let everybody do this, then, you know, we'd never have time to do anything else, because there's hundreds of people in the audience who each of, you know, Dr. Wallach has saved their mother's life. And so, no, we can't do it. And he said, well, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Martin Luther King Jr., and Dr. Wallach saved my mother's life, and he didn't tell anybody that he'd done it. And that's why I want to come here today and tell Dr. Wallach's followers what he did for my mother. And she was able to march in the Million Man March because of what Dr. Wallach did for her arthritic knees. And Dr. Wallach didn't tell anybody that he fixed Coretta Scott King's knees. He didn't tell anybody about it. And this is, again, a testament to Dr. Wallach's humility, and I'm right there with you 100%. No kidding. Dr. Wallach is a genius, and the more that we can do to forward his message. And, you know, man, if people don't want to listen to it, they don't want to listen to it, and let's just move on.